Okay.
You feel me? Okay.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes, sir. You ready?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I got a backup audio just in case that mess up, because that acted a little funny on me. What's going on, everybody? This is Law. You're tuned into another episode of Redline Legendz. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, man, I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm excited about today's guest. It's somebody that's extremely, extremely important, influential to my journey as a biker. He has impacted thousands, I'd say close to millions of people's lives. We're talking none other than my uncle, the legend himself, TooShy. How you doing, huh?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for coming out, man. It means a lot. It means a lot for you to come out and kick it with your nephew.
Okay.
So, you know, you've taught me a lot over the years, and just through, you know, stuff that you say, words of wisdom, words of encouragement, even times when you gotta check me, you know, you keep it 100 and make sure I stay on the straight and narrow. So I never really get to ask you questions about how you got into this, how you started riding bikes, and when you first fell in love. So when you first get into motorcycle riding?
Now, I can't say, when you say first, you asking dates, or you asking how, or what did I see, or when you ask first.
When I say first, let's say when you first, before you ever sat on a motorcycle, what was your first encounter with a motorcycle?
My first encounter of motorcycle or motorcycle club?
Motorcycle.
Okay. Motorcycle club. Motorcycles I used to see all the time, but it didn't do anything for me. I just saw motorcycle.
Okay.
But you know, back in the day when we was coming up, everybody didn't have cars and stuff like y'all got now. So you be riding along on the back seat of one of your cousins' big cars, and y'all see the little fast car, and you say, "That's my car."
Oh yeah. I used to do that when I was a kid.
Okay, it would be one of those things. So then, when I first saw something when it pertaining to a motorcycle club, or a patch or something like that, was a long time ago. Some of my cousins from Bellevue, Tennessee, because I'm from Wisconsin. So Some of my cousins from Bellevue, Tennessee, they had a motorcycle club called the Searchers.
Okay.
MC. It was like, it's crazy. I mean, I still got pictures now, but
I gotta see that.
It's crazy, man. It's like they had a big monoculars type thing, and it had Searchers at the top, Nashville, Tennessee at the bottom, years ago. But also, my mother rode. She was in a social club out of Wisconsin called the Outer Limits.
Okay.
And they had the Outer Limits Motorcycle and Social Club. So I saw this, but at the time I didn't really pay too much attention to my mother and them club, because I was like, you know, my mom was at work and she come on with this little dark blue jacket on saying the Outer Limits Social Club. I didn't really pay any attention.
Okay.
But then when we used to come to Tennessee every year for the summer. And then, you know, you're getting a little older, and I'm seeing my cousin, them, they got these little blue jean jackets on. They was kind of raggedy like. You know, it was cool. I was like, Dad, they got a motorcycle club, but I didn't even know what a motorcycle club was. I was just like, I want one of them jackets. You know, and this was like early on. So
yeah.
Then I had a female cousin that was wild. She does everything. She was like one of the funnest persons that I ever knew in my life, and her name was Deborah Slaughter. And actually, she married Michael Kennard, who is Big Mike on the set.
Wow.
Who he just passed not too long ago.
Wow.
Who was Lil Mike's dad from Darkside.
Yeah. Shout out Big Mike.
You know, they were all in this club at one time called the Searchers.
Okay.
You know, my cousins from Bellevue, Tennessee, and everything else. So that's pretty much what gave me my first insights. You know, the Outer Limits Social Club out of Milwaukee, and then the Searchers out of Bellevue, Tennessee, because it actually had Bellevue, Tennessee, I think, on it at one time, and they might have changed it to Nashville, but it wasn't that they had to change it like now. I'm just
right.
But that's it. That's what got me going.
So it got you going.
That's what got me interested.
So you came from, you said you were from Wisconsin and you would come here in the summertime?
Yeah, it was from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We would come down every summer when school got out. And, it was like a task because it was like 6 or 7 of us, and we had to ride the bus. So that was that old Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
The fun thing about it is, the fun thing with me, I was the youngest, and it was like, you got to sit next to mama, and you got to sit next to mama, all the food and drinks was right next to us. So
Right.
You got to ride the bus, and, it was an experience, it was part of growing up, We didn't think nothing was wrong with it. We felt like we was going to France or somewhere.
Yeah.
When we got on that bus, we was like, hey, we get to ride the bus, we going out of town, hey. And it was like a big ordeal, bro, growing up. I would never change it for the world. But, we started coming here every summer. We'd get out of school and come to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Then as my older brother got older, he learned to drive. Him and I don't know who gave him the car or whatever. Somebody gave him a car or something, station wagon or something. And I remember one day, my mom was like, we going to Tennessee. And we was like, me and my sister, we was like, how are we going? And she was like, Richard gonna drive us. We gonna drive in the car. So at this time, I don't even remember where my other brothers was at, or my other sister, but I remember me, my brother, my oldest brother, my mother, and my sister. We headed out to Nashville in a station wagon. It was like a Ford Falcon or something like that. It was like it was like a Ford Torino, but it was like a station wagon. It was brown.
Yeah.
And, we came on down. We made it. But I didn't know if we could have made it or not made it. But now that I look back on it, I'm thinking we probably shouldn't have came.
Why you say that?
Because I remember us making it here.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my uncle, actually, Uncle Willie, is what we call him. He had to bring us back. He had to bring us back. My brother was like, it ain't gonna make it.
A station wagon?
Yeah. And my uncle was like, well, he said, like, we took off a couple times and headed back, and then my brother would turn around. And I didn't know, I'm still a young guy at the time, so I'm thinking, hey, Dad, I'm nervous in the back seat because, in the station wagon, you had all that little room back there, right? Yeah. So I get back there and play around and see, you know what I'm saying? I might have had a car or something back there. I'm playing around. I don't know anything serious about it at that time, but I just know we turned around a couple times and came back. So then the last time we came back, we came to my auntie in them house out in Bellevue, and I remember my uncle getting up saying, y'all going back, y'all going to Milwaukee. I'm gonna get you back. So, after a couple hours went by, I'm like, what is he gonna do? What he gonna do? Never know what he was gonna do. So he got on up. I see my auntie get up. Then all of a sudden, I see one of my cousins come, and he had at the time he had a Ford LTD or something like that, if my memory is correct. So then I was like, what are we gonna do? Put the car on top of the car? What are we gonna do? So then, as long story short was, what ended up happening is my uncle drove the station wagon, and when my brother drive the car.
Yeah.
Okay. And they brought us back. Nothing happened to the station wagon all the way back. Nothing.
It made it back.
Right?
Wow.
So then as you get a little older and they get to telling the story and stuff, I would sit around and listen to my mom and my auntie and them tell this story. And I'm like, they telling the story how my brother didn't want to come back.
That's what it was?
That's what it was. The car didn't have anything to do with the car. My brother didn't want to come. He didn't want to leave. He wasn't ready to leave. So he kept saying something was wrong. So then you hear that story. Then I heard the stories about how it might have been a leaf spring or something in the car back then, that was bad or something. But we came back. My uncle got us back here.
Yeah.
God rest his soul, Uncle Willie. Yeah.
Uncle Willie.
Yeah. That's anyway. Uncle Willie is something else. He's the man.
He is.
William Slaughter. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Was buried in him granddaddy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But it's been a long journey, man. It's been a long journey. The MC set just, you know,
So when did you start riding? You remember how old you were?
well, I want to say somewhere like my brother, my oldest brother, not my oldest brother, my second oldest brother.
Okay.
That's where the TooShy actually came from. Lord, here you go. I hope he don't see this, but anyway, that's where it came from. It's like him and some of his friends, they used to ride motorcycles. Mm-hmm. One of his partners, London, they used to ride motorcycles up and down the alley, because in Milwaukee we had alleys. You play ball in the alley, you do everything in the alley. You didn't have to go to the park or nothing. If you had an alley, you was good. Mama say, go outside in the alley. That's where you went. Yeah. Not in the yard, but in the alley.
Yeah.
Don't leave the alley though.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
So they would be riding these motorcycles and stuff, and his partner would come over, and then they left. Well, they started small motorcycles, and up north they had scooters all the time. So everybody had scooters, you know. The little elite scooters, the little Honda Rebel scooters, all kind of little scooters, right? So they would ride them, and I had a bike, and I was like, I remember one time I was like so in shape that I could actually keep up with them. I had like a 12-speed. I don't even remember what kind of bike it was, but I had like a 12-speed bike, and everywhere they would go, I would go, following them on my bike. And it would be like, they was going like 30 miles an hour, but I could always see them because they stopped at a stoplight. I didn't have to stop. I was going through the light and catch back up with them, right? So, you know, it kind of got fascinating, and then they moved on from the scooters. Then they started getting little 250s and little 450s and 400s and stuff like that. And long story short, my brother, he took a little vacation.
Oh.
And so then he took a vacation, and my brother's friend, he looked out for me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, man, I ain't gonna let you get in no trouble, this, that, and the other. So he would let me drive his legal cars and legal bikes and stuff like that. And I ended up getting my best friend from Milwaukee. His name is Kimmett. I ended up getting, his daddy gave him a scooter, and I ended up getting one. So he had a gray one, I had a red one, a little Honda Express.
And so it begins.
Yes.
It began right there.
And that's how it started off, right there. The little Honda Express went to I started off with, the first motorcycle was a burnt orange a Yamaha 400 Special. It was burnt orange, yeah. And the thing about it is, only got to ride it twice.
Would you?
Once again, Deborah and Michael, they moved to Milwaukee. That's Lil Mike's mom and stepmom. His daddy and his stepmom. They moved to Milwaukee. So I got this little bike, and they was like, yeah, man, we gonna, you can ride with us. I'm like, oh, okay. I can get in the club. It was like, man, you can ride with us. So I'm riding. Deborah had a good Yamaha, and Michael, he always had a Honda. Now this cat right here was one of the true legends, because I'm talking about in Milwaukee, it always snowed some kind of way. So we in the house, it's snowing, and the news come on.
Okay.
And it says, man captured on video riding in the snow. Guess who it was?
Mike.
Big Mike. He coming down. Yeah. He coming down 94. It's snowing. He's got a blue. I'll never forget it. A blue Honda. Blue Honda 750. Saddlebags. He got on leather chaps.
Mike.
Hey, and he's riding in this snow. I'm talking about the snow is coming down. They actually filmed him on the news.
He was on the news.
He was on the news, right? Coming in, right? So I'm like, wow. I'm seeing this. Then, we riding, and then all of a sudden, because actually when they moved to Milwaukee, he was no longer a searcher. He had got out the searchers.
Oh, okay.
And he started his own motorcycle club, which was called the Night Riders.
Yeah, right? Shout out Night Riders.
Which is the same Night Riders in Nashville.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
So he started the Night Riders in Milwaukee, and he was like, everybody in Tennessee didn't believe he had chapters in several different states. They was all thinking that, he was telling the story or lying to him or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, we getting the little bikes ready and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to ride my little orange bike, right?
What happened?
Man, come to find out, my bike ended up having like one cylinder that was locked up. Cause I like I said, I rode it twice, right? Now, let me tell you how I rode it. The first time I rode it, when we finally got it started, because me and the guys would push it up and down the alley, we couldn't really get it going, and then we finally get it going, and it would just take off, right? Just take off, it's gone. So, shut it down, boom. I ain't getting on this no more. So then the next time, they got it right. We got it running for me. Mike and he had a club brother named California. They called him California because he was from California, but he moved up north. And they got it running for me. He was like, "Come on, young blood, you can ride it."
So you got to
ride it now, right? So we got the bike running, and I rode the bike one time, and I sold it. Something was wrong with it. The throttle wouldn't come out, and it like from the first time I rode it, it still kind of scared me because it's like it would just take off, right? Now they could ride it because they were grown ass men, but me myself, I couldn't really ride it the way that I could ride Deborah's bike. But
how old were you?
I want to say I was probably, man, somewhere around 15, 16 at the most. Wow. And then being on that bike, and I'm like, that bike taking off, and it's like, and coming from the little scooter, like on the little scooter, right? The little scooter is like you hold the throttle, right? It, like that's that, it. Right? Well, this bike, as soon as you pop it in gear, it is what it is. It's taking off.
It's gone.
Yeah. So, come to find out, man, what happened was I sold the bike, right? So Deborah was like, "You can ride my bike." I ain't gonna tell you what they called me, but it wasn't TooShy at the time. But anyway, some of my cousins out there, they see this, they're gonna be like, "I know what they call it." But
what they call you?
Next segment.
Okay. That's part 2. And that's part 2 because my uncle gonna be here all the time. So
okay, so
that's part 2.
Next segment. So basically, it was like, I started riding my cousin's bike, and they was in Milwaukee for a couple of years. You're getting a little older, you know. I'm starting to see more stuff on Milwaukee set and understanding, you know, kind of grasping, not really no understanding of what the bike life or what the set is like or none of that, really. Because I'm actually still in school. So, you know, dealing with everything from going to school, playing ball, running track, I'm still, you know, kid life. But I'm liking this motorcycle stuff because on the weekend they be out in the alley once again, and they testing and tuning and everything, right? And so then I get a little older, and it's like now I'm like 17, right?
Oh, here we go.
And now they got full-fledged members in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Night Riders MC, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'm around them all the time. I'm like, I'm a senior in high school and shit, and I'm like, shit, I'm thinking I'm grown, you know. Everybody done left in this. I'm the only one still there. So mama give me a little free reins, and I'm like, okay. They had a bike night on Thursday night on 3rd Street in Wisconsin, which is now it's called Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Okay.
But so then I go and I'm meeting all the members and everything, right? So at the time I'm like, I'm really not saying anything. I'm going to the little bike nights and stuff. I can get in, and I wasn't drinking nothing and never thought about drinking nothing. So I go to the little bike night, and they was playing all this little crazy music. It wasn't nothing that I wanted to hear. So they was like, "Well, you can DJ." Well, I had several partners that was DJ.
Yeah.
That was used to DJ back in the day. One of the family friends, old Doc Gray, Sherman, he DJ'd all the time. He carried crates of records and everything, from the singles to anything, right? So he would teach me how to play a little bit, but it was pretty simple to do back then. So I started DJing. Well, you know what that did? They made me the DJ.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm talking about maybe the first week I went, I didn't say that. They was like, "You gonna talk on the mic? You gonna?" I'm like, I wouldn't say nothing. The second week, it was one old lady. I can't even think of her name. I don't know what her name was, but she was like, "I'm gonna get you to talk on this mic, right?" And I was like, okay, I don't know how you gonna do it, but We gonna see. So anyway, she come back. She come behind the little DJ booth. I'm up there playing. It's like in that same era, Midnight Star and no parking on the dance floor. I know you don't know none of this stuff, but anyway, the barcades.
Google it if y'all don't know it.
Yeah, the barcades. All this stuff was going on. Houdini.
Okay.
All this stuff. Friends. All that stuff was being played, right? So I'm up there DJing. I'm getting down, and I'm like, we got a nice little crowd. I got the crowd jumping. I'm like, dang, I'm doing good, right? Okay. She come up there. She was like, you need to talk on the mic. I'm like, what you want me to say? So then she be like, I cut the mic on and handed to her, right?
You right.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, I'll be right back. She goes somewhere and she come back and she like, drink this. I was like, I don't drink. I'm like, I don't drink. Like that, right? I'm 17 now. I'm like, I don't drink. And she like, okay, just drink some of this. Take a swallow. Bruh, I can't tell you what it was. It didn't taste nasty. But I can't tell you what it was, right? To today. Can't tell you what it was because I don't know. I drunk some of that, bruh. Hey. DJ City. I was talking on the mic. I was doing everything, right? I was shaking the little crowd on 3rd Avenue. And it just went from there, man. It just went from there. That was the beginning right there. Yep, the Night Riders and, like I said, my mom and them was the Outer Limits Social Club, Blood. He used to come by the house, on their motorcycles, and that's what done it.
Wow, so you sitting there, you in there rocking the crowd, being a DJ.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what that was like. But to have a party jumping, and y'all already know when a bike event or annual is jumping, it's jumping. To sit there, did you? I mean, I know you might not have, but I have to ask the question: did you think that it would take you from that DJ booth?
No.
To all the years?
Not no kind of way. Not no kind of way. The reason why is, bruh, in Milwaukee, we had gangs back and forth. I mean, everywhere you went. From one street to another. I'm talking about if I went from here to the block, you might change gangs.
God.
Okay, and then it wasn't nobody with cars. So you rode buses. The bus take you everywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
So it definitely didn't. I was more had to worry about where I'm at because on 3rd Street was not where I lived. That was another gang. Okay, so I had to worry about how I'm gonna get back, even though they had cars and stuff, and with Mike and them and Deborah and them coming from the South, they never know anything about a gang.
Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't affect them. They looking at stuff like they're a grown woman and grown man. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm seeing these cats standing across the street from the clubhouse. And I'm like, I know what they represent. So, no, I wasn't thinking about DJing. When I was inside, I was safe. But if I had to catch the bus home, then I felt like I wasn't safe. So, no, I never thought about that I would be DJing in the state of Tennessee somewhere doing this. No, never crossed my mind. I was trying to survive, brother. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Trying to survive. Yeah, I mean, it's totally different in the South, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of cats down here that I look at and they act like they're the biggest thugs that you done ever seen. No. They ain't never had to deal with no snow. They ain't never had to deal with somebody saying, hey, man, what you doing with my shoes on?
Right.
It might be a foot of snow outside. You on the bus. You got your little bomber jacket on, your little hat on, your little earmuffs, your gloves, and somebody take your shoes. Bruh, all it is, I mean, you got the realest brothers out there, they might say, they wouldn't have took my shoes, da-da-da-da-da. Bruh, I'm going to tell you like this. Some of them cats out there remember when the TV used to go off. What happens when the TV used to go off?
Didn't they play something like the national anthem or something like that?
Anthem,
play the national anthem.
Stars and Stripes, the little
I wouldn't have lied, but I know.
But it's all good. But this is what happened at the end of that, though. What did you see? Who came on there?
I don't know.
The little Indian. It was a little Indian. Came on there with a whole lot of trash talking about clean up America or something like that, right? And a lot of trash behind him, right? Had a little tear in his eye, right? That's how you feel when it's about 6 or 7, maybe 13 guys around you, and they saying, "Give me them shoes." First thing happened, bruh. First, I'm talking about, I done seen many guys. Now, we didn't have money, so the shoes that I had, you didn't really want anyway.
Yeah.
But back then, if you had some Nikes, it wasn't no Jordans, Nikes, okay? They're mine. Had to come out. Wintertime. I done had partners, man. We done had to pretty much, they had to get on my back. We had to take turns to get them to the house because it was snow. You know what I'm saying? They wanted their shoes, but all it was in the first place is like this. You high siding out there, right? You got a foot of snow, but you walking around in some Nikes, right? But everybody else got these big boots on with the insoles on the inside. They got they tennis shoes and a backpack on their back. But you clean. Now you want to be cute. You the man, right? Because your family had a little bread, this, that, and the other. And if you're out there, Jeffrey Glawson, Timothy Hutchinson, and then these are the cats that I went to school with, man. I still remember their name because we played ball and stuff, and we trying to make it home. But y'all mama and them had a little money, you know what I'm saying? Y'all had the good stuff, and the brothers had to have it. So basically, after a while, now we talking about this is like elementary. We ain't even in junior high yet. We talking about 5th and 6th graders. You young, man. So now you 5th and 6th graders. So you like what you learn? You learn to adapt. So by the time junior high come, hold on, bro. And by the time high school come, ain't no more taking no shoes, bro.
Right.
You become the takers. You become the takers. And I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't shoot 'em up, bang, bang, because I can't remember not one cat got shot then. You might got beat up, but not one cat I can remember actually getting shot on the playground, somebody getting stabbed. No. You either ran fast or you got beat up. If you didn't have nothing that didn't nobody want you, was good. Because the big kids come on the bus all the time. It's like schools, you was bust out, way out. They say like if you live in North Nashville and you bust to Rivergate, or if you live in North Nashville and you bust to Bellevue, okay? So now you gotta take that bus all the way home. And within then, if you was in the junior high, you had to make it about halfway. Then that's when the high school kid get on the bus.
Then that's what
Okay,
stuff happened.
The design that up north, it was designed that the kids got out at different times so you wouldn't have that problem. But when you played ball, you stayed after school for intramurals or extracurricular activities, and you ran into these problems. And that's the way it was. I mean, it was just rough. So it's like it stayed cold in Milwaukee more than it did warm. So I couldn't think about motorcycles. I could think about it that 1 month in the summer, or 2 months in the summer. But then, shoot, soon as the end of July, you could already see the trees change the color.
Cool, man. That's crazy. All right, so more questions that I got for you. Going through dealing with the alleys of Milwaukee, DJing, your motorcycle that would take off on you, man. You've impacted a lot of people in not only Milwaukee but here in Nashville as well. When you came to Nashville, did you realize how impactful you would be, or how I don't want to say instrumental, but yeah, that you would influence a lot of people coming onto the set and joining motorcycle clubs?
Actually, I didn't. Once again, promise you, I was just living, bro. I was like Lil Duval, living my best life. I'm telling you, because I was like, I didn't really have no words, because coming to Nashville, like we came every summer. So to us, it was like, even then and even now, it was like Nashville is slow compared to the north.
Yeah. I'm from Detroit, and
Yeah.
they said that for years.
Yeah,
Man.
even anything from the music to anything else, it was like Nashville always the last one to get it. So when I left when I left Milwaukee, it was basically on like a slick humble, because it was like we still coming here every summer now, right? Regardless of what else was going on, we get out of school, it's time to go to Tennessee. Okay, so at this particular year, Michael and Deborah, they was in Milwaukee, and they was like, we going to Tennessee. You want to go now? The nest is gone. Mama ain't nobody was there. Mama boyfriend. That's it. So I'm like, we going to Tennessee? She was like, nah, we ain't going. She was like, I'm staying home with Jerry. All right. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to Tennessee with Michael and Deborah. And she was like, all right. For what? She did ask me for what, right? And I said, I want you to give me a car, because by this time you getting grown, all your little friends, they driving their parents' car, but it wasn't no whole bunch of everybody got cars like you got a car when you might have been in school 15 and stuff like. Nah, it wasn't none of that in Milwaukee. Nah, your parents didn't have no money, you didn't have no car, because it was like if that car cost $2,500, they meant $2,500, not give me $200 down and $50 a week like here. No. So I come to Tennessee. From the time I was 15, I had cousins that had cars, 14, home ship, whatever they called it back then or whatever, right? They had cars. So now you get grown and you feel like you cooler than them. So you feel like you cooler and you're like, but I ain't got no car. These cats got cars, but they kind of, they kind of slow like, so I'm like, I need a car. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to Tennessee, get me a car. So Michael was like, man, we need to go to Louisville. It was Derby time, right? Right around my birthday, which is in May. So he was like, these cats don't believe that I got a chapter. I'm going to call my chapters from Chattanooga. I think he had a chapter in Texas, Nashville. I know he had about 5 or 6 chapters. I'm not sure, familiar for wherever they all was at. But we were all going to meet up in Nashville. Then we was going to go to Louisville, to the Derby, right? So, I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I had done been to Milwaukee. I had done been to Tennessee so much. Like my oldest brother used to come pick me up in the summer as I got older and everybody else left home. He would come pick me up and I would literally have to drive from Milwaukee to Tennessee. That was my payment. Like when he came, he get off from work, he come straight to Milwaukee and get me. We turned right around. He didn't ever stay. He was like, get in the car, have your clothes ready. Boom. Get in the car, we take off. He get on the driver's side, go to sleep. Wow. So here it is, I'm sitting on this little pillow. He got this old Buick. I'm driving down the highway, right? Boom. So when he wake up, he would take over and, take us on in or whatever. But for the most part, I was doing the loop at an early age in Chicago. So, I make it to Tennessee, man. Anyway, long story short, we're going to go to Louisville. So I'm asking Deborah, I'm like, because Deborah, like I said, Deborah, coolest cousin you can ever have. Coolest cousin. If you ever knew Michael Canard, little Mike's sister, Keisha.
Okay.
The one that passed away.
Yeah.
She was splitting image of her mama. Yeah, shout out. Splitting image of her mama. And they just liked it to be fun, man. Whatever they was doing, bruh, they wanted it to be fun, And like, he had 2 other sisters, Lois Jean and Mika. They was pretty much the same too, you know what I'm saying? But whatever their mom wanted to do, she wanted to do it fun. She wanted you to have fun. She made clothes. She the ones who actually made the Searchers vests back in the day, before they were, screen, whatever they call the people, you know what I'm talking about, that make the vest and stuff. Before there was digitized and stuff like that. No, she done it, thread and needle, and made them. Well, anyway, she was like, I got that name again, but we're gonna talk about the next section. She was like telling me, she was like, they got something. She said, I'm gonna tell you this before we go. They got something in Louisville, and I'm just gonna say this, and I don't need you getting scared or whatever, shine away. She said, but they got this contest in Louisville, right? that you probably ain't never seen before. But I just got to tell you before we go, because I don't want you to act no fool, and I don't need nobody trying to get you to go up there and you don't know what the hell you doing. So I'm like, contest? What? I wonder what it could be. Push-ups or what? I'm in shape. I'm like, I'm ready. What we going to do? Run? What? Right? Because, back in the day, they had all these little games where you used to park your bike a mile away, you run to your bike, get on it, and come back and tag your partner and all kind of stuff, right?
The young cats don't know nothing about that stuff, man.
Exactly. So, long story short,
I wish we would do something like that now. It'd be too messed up.
do you know what the contest was, man?
What's the contest?
Contest in Louisville. It was called the pussy eating contest.
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So I was blown away. I had never seen it, never knew exactly what it was or nothing else, right? This in Louisville at the Derby, right? So I'm like, we got all our little chapters, right? All our little chapters done came, and they called the Night Riders. We walked down through there.
Oh my god.
And I'm talking about niggas, we shoulders up. We thinking, hey, we the biggest club in there. We done won. We done won like 3 trophies, right? So then we had a brother.
Oh man.
We had a brother that one of the brothers won that contest. I can't remember who their name was, and I think he's still living in Tennessee right now. Night Riders, I didn't tell you the secret. But anyway, one of the brothers won that contest that night. We won trophies. He won the contest. Oh my God. Exactly. So that's how the saga started, brother. Right there. Louisville Derby. Yes.
Wow.
Hey, real talk.
Yo.
Man.
Oh man.
Real talk. Yes.
Wow.
Hey.
I wasn't I wasn't ready.
Okay. I told you.
But
I wasn't ready.
But
she told me.
I've heard of a contest like that. So what other contest was there going on?
That was going on? I mean,
yeah, because think about it, man. Nowadays, like, there's not no contest. Like, what, you get best dressed or large in attendance, but there aren't they still do the slow races?
Yeah, they still do the slow races, but it's just because, man, it's kind of like, brother, I'm going to tell you like this, and I ain't stepping on nobody's toes, and it ain't like I'm picking at somebody, and it ain't no certain individual or none of that rest of that's going on.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the post I just made to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like everybody out there. You got brothers out there, they want to see you do better, but they don't want to see you do better than them.
Right.
So it's like, you got some old heads out there, man, that know that this stuff can still go on. Because some people still do the field meets. You know what I'm saying? Like, downtown still have theirs, the low riders still have theirs or whatever. But they don't get that knowledge back. Back then, I didn't own a motorcycle. I seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't my motorcycle to go out there to do this. So I can't say that I done it, but I can say I seen it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. So now, even like now, I know it would work. Because you got guys on crotch rockets, some of them big, some of them little. Okay, you put them in the contest, now you get them to run a half a mile that way, and then come back, get on their bike, and then run back, and then start the bike up and go back that way. You know what I'm saying?
And that's and to hear these stories from yourself and other bikers that have been doing this way longer than me, man. To hear the fun and the genuine fun that you would have, it's almost like y'all had it. I'm gonna say it, but it's like y'all had it almost better because now it is not like that. It's a political game. It's a social media game, and it takes away from the genuine realness that it really could be. Mm-hmm. So imagine like nowadays these guys doing this stuff, and I know they would have a blast. I know they would have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's like pride and ego and just different factors play into this thing, and it hinders people from being just themselves and enjoying
Yeah.
what we say we are. You know, so